going to do a drama review on the Heirs episode 5 and 6. So spoiler alert, I am going to go through pretty much a lot of the storyline for 5 and 6. So if you haven't watched it, I would go to dramafever.com and watch the shows and then come back to my video so you could kind of answer some of the questions that I might have about your thoughts about episode 5 and 6. And the Drama Fever link is in my description box below. The episode opens up with Park Shin-hye drinking water in Lee Min-ho's family house's kitchen. So in episode 4, it was kind of like this thing where she was walking around and he was like thinking, oh, well, did I see her? Did I not see her? And he, of course, saw her because she is living in his house. So I think he thinks and he knows it's really awkward, so he decides to kind of like keep it a secret for the time being and kind of just basically Facebook stalk her a little bit more and then kind of just follow her around the city of Seoul. And Park Shin-hye is basically having a hard time throughout episode 5 and 6 and even 1 through 4. She seems to sleep a lot, or she has her head down in a lot of the photos, and there's a lot of scenes where she's kind of sleepwalking or just kind of having a difficult time in life in general, because she either has 2 or 3 part-time jobs. She's number 5 in her class, so out of the hundreds of kids in her class, she's in the top 5. Of course, she's not the top 1 because that would make it too perfect, so she's at least in the top 5. And she's at school. It's a 2-hour commute to the new school, or to her old school, from her new place of residence at Lee Min-ho's house. So that's kind of there. And then it gets really interesting with Kim Won, which is Choi Jin-hyuk's character, and the secretary. So Choi Jin-hyuk is just mad because, you know, he wasn't told that his brother Lee Min-ho, or Kim Tan, is back in town. And so he moves out in a huff, and then he tells the secretary, you know, you're always taking my dad's side and my younger brother's side. When are you going to be good to me? When am I going to know everything? And so they're sitting there and having a drink, and then Kim Woo-bin's dad and Rachel's mom comes in, you know, the loving couple. And so, the secretary's has a thing with Rachel's mom, like back in the past. It's very Gossip Girl-like, if you know that storyline in Gossip Girl. And so, basically, Kim Woo-bin's dad is still a jerk, still an asshole to everybody. And so what he does is, you know, he goes off and the secretary goes off and talks to his son, Kang Min-hyuk's character, and then at the end, Rachel's mom, for some reason, follows him out there, and so then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that my fiance is such a jerk, you know, I still think about you, oppa, and then he's like, oh, well, you know, I'm sorry too, and she's about what? And then they go in this really awkward locked embrace and where they're kissing and stuff. But I gotta say that that's just it was so awkward to see because it wasn't a passionate kiss. I think they were kind of trying to kiss without wrinkling each other's clothes because it was so not an attractive kiss. And at their age, they should probably know how to kiss. Maybe somebody's breath was not fresh. I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens. So Lee Min-ho pops back into Park Shin-hye's life, kind of just stalking her, and he shows up at her school, and it's like this big to-do because, you know, he's hot, he's tall, he's attractive, and he's driving a hot car. So, you know, he has this girl gathering in front of him, and this really actually reminds me of Temptation of Wolves, when Kang Dong-won's character was outside of his not yet known sister's like school, and then he like takes her on a motorcycle ride. Anyways, back to this story. Lee Min-ho is not as lucky. Park Shin-hye has nothing to do with him and just kind of stalks off. And so we cut to Park Shin-hye's cafe, and then Kang Min-hyuk's character like calls her and says, so what are you doing with your Facebook update? And she's like, what? I'm busy, I can't do this at work. He's like, oh, but you could do a post on your Facebook? So she looks at it, and it's Lee Min-ho's face, and he's like, oh, I think Lee Min-ho is the cutest ever, or something to that effect. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is in the cafe. So she goes around the corner, and there he is. And then, like, the sleight of hand and all these other things, he gets her phone number. And so that was actually a very cute scene. So I actually like that. And then, of course, you know, we have a little bit of Park Shin-hye still taking a nap. Then we cut to J Group's high school. So that's the high school where all the elite people go, where all the heirs and the inheritors go. And so you see Rachel, Kim Woo-bin, Crystal's character, they're all like in a flurry because Kim Tan, Lee Min-ho's character, is back in Korea. And so everybody's just like, oh my gosh, is he back? Rachel, is he back? And then she's like, you know what, this is so annoying. Why do I have to answer this question? Then Kim Woo-bin's like, you're probably annoyed because you don't know if he's here or not. So there's more to this story, but I think another big highlight is when Lee Min-ho's mom goes to Park Shin-hye's housemaid mom and offers her basically kind of like the golden ticket from Willy Wonka's, you know, chocolate factory. Basically, he's like, I will sponsor your child to go to like this elite high school. So the mother is like overwhelmed, and of course she agrees. She basically just transfers her daughter without Park Shin-hye knowing it. And, you know, Park Shin-hye is, of course, you know, upset. She's like, I don't want to go there. You don't know the kids. It's like, we can't afford the tuition. And the mom's just like, get over it. You're going. Smack. So Park Shin-hye and Kang Min-hyuk are sitting there, and Park Shin-hye is like, you know, do you think I'll fit in? How do you think I'm going to do? I'm so jealous that you got to go to this high school and I didn't. And Kang Min-hyuk's character is very sweet, but he's also very knowledgeable. He's a very smart kid. And he's like, there's 4 levels of high schools. It's like you're either old money, new money, or, you know, very powerful, or you're a scholarship kid. And if you're a scholarship kid, you might as well just like, you know, roll over and let them kick you because it's just a bad situation. She's like, wow, if it's bad for you, and his situation is much easier in life than hers, then she's like, mine's gonna be like the worst. All right, enough about that. Let's get back to the story. So the Dreamcatcher is still a main character in this sequence. So Park Shin-hye and Lee Min-ho finally have it out. He finally reveals that she's living in his house, and she's horrified. She's like, you know that I live in the housemaid's servants' quarters? And he's like, yes. And she's just like devastated. So yeah, Park Shin-hye basically is always kind of in between Kim Woo-bin's character and Lee Min-ho's character, and you can kind of see that there's like a lot of tension between the two of them, and you get this underlying thing where Kim Woo-bin's character is just pure evil. Yeah, Kim Woo-bin's character is holding it over and lording it over Lee Min-ho's character, that he knows that he's an illegitimate kid, and that his mom is not his real mom, and that's the stepmom and the mistress and all of that that's going on in the Lee Min-ho household. So, yeah. So there is this whole little scene where it's just like Mean Girls, where it's like, you can't sit at my table. But instead, it's like this kid who's like petrified that Park Shin-hye is sitting at his seat, not because he wants to sit there, it's because he's being forced to sit there. Alright, so now there is also Kim Won and the tutor. So she was also on a scholarship program for the J Group scholarship program. So she must have been, you know, lower income or poor, and she was able to graduate college and, you know, make a decent living for herself. But I was really confused. It's like, why is she in his hotel room giving him, you know, it's just like, why are you there? So at the end of episode 6, you see Park Shin-hye taking a nap again. Like, the girl is just taking a nap all over Seoul. And then the funny thing is that Kim Woo-bin happens to be there again with ramen. And then to be kind of like the triangle happening, Kim Tan is in the background going, so are you having a good ramen dinner or a midnight snack? So yeah, I think it's intriguing. I think that the Heirs is doing so much better. I really, really like Rachel. Like, I think she does such a good job as a tortured, like, mean girl. Kim Woo-bin's character, he's so good at being kind of sinister. And then Park Shin-hye's character, I think she's very sweet. You know, she is showing more depth. And Lee Min-ho is actually kind of being stretched. Like, I've never seen him play the, I don't want to say weak, but more gentle, soft guy. Like, he's always playing like the very cavalier, strong, manly person. So to see him in a softer side, even like a softer appearance, is kind of interesting. So what are your thoughts about the Heirs? Do you have any kind of like thoughts on what the brothers are going to be up to with the love triangle, what's happening with the secretary and Kim Woo-bin's dad's fiance? I mean, there's so many things happening. Rachel is also like all over the place, thinking Lee Min-ho is going to kick her current boyfriend's butt, but he's over her and she needs to kind of catch a clue. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.